But let's go ahead and get started. And we'll get started in our chair or whatever we're using as a chair. So whether it's like sitting on the edge of the couch or whatever it is, okay? I'm gonna lift this up just a little bit, not quite right. And I'd like you to find a posture in your chair where you feel kind of active, right? So we're not like slouching in our chair like this, but we're alert, right? So we're sitting with shoulders over hips, the feet are on the floor. And if your feet don't touch the floor, right, you might place the pillow underneath your feet so that you feel that connection to the ground, right? But we want our spine to be really long. We want to kind of have like this proud chest, right? So collarbones are wide, chest is open, yeah. And so every class, I like to introduce a new type of breath practice. And so this week, I wanted to introduce what's called lion's breath, right? So if you imagine a lion, right, the animal, the lion, what kind of sound do they make? They make like a roar, right? It's kind of like that. So that's kind of like what the breath is like. So what we do is we breathe in through the nose. And as we exhale, we open up the mouth and stick out the tongue and go, right? So we exhale out through the mouth and stick out the tongue. It's pretty fun. And if you want to add it on, you can also lift your paws up, right? So on the exhale, lift the paws up. And you can even lift the gaze up so the eyes can come up, the mouth opens, and the tongue comes out. Okay? So let's practice that. This is a little bit fun, lighthearted. So if you feel like laughing or you feel silly, that's kind of part of it too, is to bring a little bit of lightheartedness to sometimes what feels like maybe a little bit boring or a little bit serious. So sit up nice and tall, right? And let's begin to deepen our breath. So before we add on our lion's breaths, let's just find our longer, deeper breaths in and out through our nose, right? Allowing the crown of the head to reach up, right? The tailbone and the butt to feel really supported on the floor. And now let's add on those lion breaths. So take a big breath in through the nose. Lion's breath out. Yeah, so open your mouth, stick out the tongue if you like, lift up your paws and lift the eyes up. Okay, let's keep doing that a couple more times until we feel like we really got it. So big breath in. Lion's breath out. Good. Let's do two more like that. Full breath in. Excellent lion breaths. One more time. Big breath in. Good. So this, as you can tell, is the kind of breath practice that brings a little bit of energy. So maybe sometimes if you feel like, I know someone said that they were feeling a little bit tired, right? This is a breath practice you can do if you're feeling like you maybe need kind of like a pick-me-up, right? Bring in a little bit of energy or a little bit of lightheartedness into your life, right? You just do a little lion's breath. And as we move through our practice today, so as we move through our shapes, if you want to do a couple rounds of lion's breath, by all means, feel free to do it. Right, but let's just sit up nice and tall and kind of do our normal sequence from the start, right? So sit up nice and tall. I want you to gaze, have the head straight in front of you, but can you turn the eyeballs over to the right? So we begin by stretching out the eyeballs, right? And then gaze forward, and then turn those eyeballs over to the left. So we keep the neck and head in line, but we're stretching out the eyeballs, and then gaze forward. And then send those eyes over to the right. And then gaze forward and over to the left. And we're not moving our body very much. Now gaze forward and same idea. Can you lift the gaze up? So kind of like we just did in that lion's breath, right? And then gaze forward and gaze down towards the legs, the feet, the floor. And then one more time, gaze up towards the ceiling. See what you see up there. And then lower the gaze down towards the knees and the floor. See what you see down there. And then gaze forward. And let's add on a little bit. So now let's turn the head over to the right. And you might feel a little bit of a neck stretch on the left-hand side, but you might notice that you're able to see a little bit more. So just begin to take in your physical surroundings, beginning to really observe our surroundings, and then gaze forward. So face forward. Yeah, and then just turn your head the opposite direction. And again, you'll notice that you have a little bit more range of motion. You might feel a little bit of stretch in the neck, and you can kind of just gaze around. And let's do that one more time. So gaze forward, inhale. And then exhale, gaze to the right and see what you see here. We're not here to judge, we're just here to notice. And then breathe and gaze forward. And breathe out, turn the head to the left. Really nice, everybody. Just sense into what you see what you see over here. And then breathe and gaze forward. And this time, breathe out, gaze up. So gaze up towards the ceiling. Maybe notice what pink color's up there, what light fixture's up there, right? And then inhale, come back through center, gaze forward. And exhale, gaze down towards the feet, the legs, the floor. Just notice what's down there. Yeah, inhale, gaze forward towards me, and then exhale, gaze up towards the sky, up towards the ceiling. See what you see up here. Yeah, and then inhale back through center. And exhale, gaze down towards the floor and just see what you see. You might feel a little stretch in the back of the neck or the tops of the shoulders, and just come back through center. Good, awesome. Release your hands down and let's warm up our shoulders a little bit. So at your own pace, there's no right or wrong, there's no good or bad. Yeah, I see some of you have arms out really wide, some of you have like hands down or elbows bent. Just begin to warm up the shoulders. So a lot of times, you know, when I ask people where they feel stress in the body, they say in the shoulders. That's a really common thing. And so let's just see if we can bring a little bit more movement into that part of the body. And make sure you go both sides. So if you've just been going in one direction, yeah, switch up your directions. Yeah, really nice. Awesome. Beautiful. Good. And then go ahead and release that. Yeah, and let's add on a little bit. So take a big breath in, reach the arms all the way up overhead. Yeah, really stretch up through the arms, and as you exhale, slowly lower the hands down back towards your seat. Good. A couple more times. Inhale, stretch the arms wide and high. Feel as if you're really reaching towards something on the ceiling. And as you exhale, slowly lower those hands right back down. Yeah, so really engaged arms, right? One more time. Inhale, reach up, up, up. So good, everybody. Exhale, slowly lower those hands down. So let's lift our hands up one more time, but this time we'll add on. So inhale, reach your arms up, right? Really reach up like you mean it. And as you exhale, bring your right hand down, either to the leg of your chair or the seat of your chair, and then stretch this left arm up and over. So side body stretch, right? You might feel this from this hip all the way through the arm. Feel as if you could really reach out through that top arm. Yeah, really nice. One more full breath in. And as you exhale, just twist off over to the right. Right, so one hand will come back behind you to the seat of the chair or the back of the chair, and your left hand might come to that right knee. Take an inhale, feel as if maybe you could grow a little bit taller. And as you exhale, maybe gaze back behind you. And since we're twisted, you might see that you have a little bit more range of motion and can see back behind you a little bit better than maybe you have been all class, right? And then all we're going to do is unwind and turn to face back towards me. So just unwind. Yeah. Let's do that on the other side. So inhale, reach the arms wide and high. Really energize the arms. Right? Like you mean it. Good. Exhale. Left hand down to the seat of the chair, the leg of the chair. And that right arm goes up and then over. Yeah, so you might feel this from this right hip all the way through the top fingers. See if you can relax through your neck. Sometimes it's helpful to sway the head from side to side. Yeah, really nice. One more full breath in. And then exhale, let's find that seated twist. So just begin to twist over to the left. Right, the right hand might come to that left knee and the left hand might come to the seat of the chair or the butt of the chair. But see if you can grow a little bit taller as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, maybe twist back behind you. You might feel this in the neck and just be able to sort of see what's back behind you. One more full breath in. One more full breath out. And then all we're going to do is unwind and turn back to face towards me. Good. Now let's spend a little bit of time warming up through the hands and the wrists, okay? So from here, let's do a stop sign with the right hand. Stop. Yeah. Right hand forward. And then take the left hand and gently pull the right fingertips towards the face. Good. Yeah. So that right arm is as straight as best as you can. I know sometimes it's hard to see what I'm doing here, but my right elbow is straight. I'm just gently pulling the fingertips back. Yeah, awesome. And then allow those fingertips to drop down towards the floor and take the left hand and gently pull the fingertips towards the body again. Yeah, see if that elbow can be straight, more or less. Yeah, beautiful. And then just gently release. And let's do that on the other side. So we say stop, stop. Take the fingertips, gently pull them towards your face. Yeah, see if you can keep that left elbow straight. Yeah. And then gently release, fingertips point down towards the floor, towards your toes. And then see if you can pull the fingertips towards the body, towards the chest. Yeah, sit up nice and tall. Good. Beautiful. Gently release, make soft fists, and circle the wrists. Same kind of thing. No right or wrong, no good or bad, your pace or my pace, doesn't matter. Right? Yeah. These can be fast, these can be slow, they can be big, they can be small. So feel free to play around. And if you've only been going one direction, switch it up. So we go in all directions, right? Clockwise and counterclockwise. Yeah. Elbows can be involved if they want to be involved, right? They don't need to be though. Good, beautiful. Now, from here, let's flick our fingers. So imagine you've just washed your hands and there's no towel, right? So you're trying to get all that water off because it's cold. The water's cold. Get it off, right? Can you go a little bit faster? Can you go a little bit faster? How about one more time? A little bit faster. Yeah, shake it out. Good, 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 good. Yeah. Okay, let's reach our arms all the way up. Exhale, open book. So bend the elbows. Yeah, keep them lifted up to shoulder height. Yeah, big breath in here. Exhale, close your book. Elbows and hands together best you can. Good, just like that. Nice, Michael. Inhale, open book. Exhale, close book. Let's try this with our lion's breath. So inhale, open book. Exhale, open your mouth, stick out your tongue. Hands come together as you do it. Good. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Find your lion's breath. Good. 2 more like that. Breathe in, open. Breathe out, lion's breath. One more time. Inhale, open. Lion's breath. Good. Straighten out through your right arm. Do a little self-massage. So up at the neck, out the shoulder, gentle squeezing, right? Just giving a little bit of love all the way down to the elbow, to the wrist. Yeah. Moving at your own pace. Yeah, your own pressure, right? So it doesn't have to be very hard. And then once you feel like you've kind of given this arm a nice massage, just do it on the other one. So you can straighten out through that left leg, left hand, or it can just rest on the body, rest on the knee, and just gentle squeeze up through the shoulder, maybe even through the neck, right down the arm, the elbow. Yeah. So just inviting a little bit more movement, a little bit more life into the arm. Yeah, really nice. Good. And then from here, reach for opposite shoulders. Yeah, give yourself a hug here. So squeeze the shoulders. And if it feels good, add a little twist of the torso. So twisting the chest over to the right and over to the left. Yeah, kind of like rocking yourself the way you might like rock a little baby. Yeah, so this is kind of like some self-soothing techniques if we ever feel upset or like out of control, right? Things feel really out of control and we want to soothe ourselves. This is a really nice way to do that, right? The way that you soothe a baby, you can do that to yourself, which is really nice, right? So as you feel ready, just come back through center. You can pause the twisting and then just release the hands down. How you all feeling? Just want to check in with you. Thumbs up, thumbs up, that's it. Cool. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, I love the little heart. Okay, so upper body, right? We've kind of done our upper body. Now let's focus on our lower body a little bit, okay? So from here, scoot forward in your chair. right? The feet are grounded on the floor or on your pillow. I'm just going to move the angle a little bit better so you can see my feet. And we'll do our feet warm-ups that we generally do here. So moving 1 foot at a time, come up high up on the toes. So if you see my heel is lifted, and then I'll lower right back down. So it's just kind of like a slow march. I'm lifting the left heel and I'm lowering. Inhale, lift the right heel and lower. Good. Inhale, lift the left heel and lower. If you kind of feel like you got the hang of this and you want to do it both feet at the same time, right, feel free. Right? But if you like the steadiness of just kind of going 1 foot and then the other, that's cool too. You might feel this behind the legs. You might feel this in the bottom of the feet or the top of the feet, kind of like stretching out the arches, right? But from here, come back through center, so feet plant and opposite, right? So I want you to lower the heel and lift the rest of the foot. So lift the toes and then plant that foot right back down. Another side. So come roll back onto the heel, lift the toes. And lower. Yeah, 1 foot at a time at your own pace. Or if you feel like you kind of got the hang of this, both feet at the same time. And one is not better than the other, right? They're just different. So a couple of options for you to discover. Let's do this one more time and then go ahead and lower the feet down. And this time, let's see if we can roll to the outer edges of the feet so the knees might splay out a little bit. And then come back to the soles of the feet and see if you can roll to the inner arches of the feet and the knees might hit one another. We'll just do that a couple more times. So roll the knees out, come to the outer edges of the feet. And roll the knees in, come to the inner arches of the feet. One more time. So roll to the outer arches. You might feel a stretch kind of in the ankle. And then roll to the inner arches. The knees might come in. Good. Come back through center, plant your feet. From here, scoop that right knee up, right? So lift the foot. Good. From here, again, we're not slouching in our chair. We're lifting up, okay? And then from here, let's point the toes. So point the toes as if you're a dancer, pointing the toes down. And as you exhale, flex the foot. So flex the toes up towards the knee. 2 more. Inhale to point. Exhale to flex. 1 more time. Inhale, point the toes. Exhale, flex the toes. Good. From here, can you lift that knee up a little bit higher? And can you bring that right ankle over your left thigh? This is called figure 4. So if you look down, it might kind of look like that number 4. And then can you sit up nice and tall here? Take a big breath in. Stay where you are. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see me. So I have a long spine, inhale. And as I exhale, I keep that long spine, but I might begin to fold forward. And as you fold forward, you might begin to feel this in the butt, right? In the low back, the front of the hip a little bit. Are any of you feeling this kind of right here in the hip, that right hip? Yes, no? Shake, no? It's okay. Either way, it's fine. 1 more full breath in. 1 more full breath out. Now, if you're in that fold, slowly rise on up. Scoop that right knee in and lower the foot on down. Okay, let's do that on the other side. So as you're ready, scoop that left foot up. Yeah. Sit up nice and tall, proud chest. Inhale, point the toes like a dancer. Exhale, flex the foot. So flex the toes towards the knee. 2 more. Inhale to point. And exhale to flex. Saw a little kick there. Inhale to point. And exhale to flex. Good. Now, can you lift that knee up a little bit higher? And can you cross the ankle over the opposite knee? And you can use your hands to help you here. Again, can you sit up really tall? So get really long through the spine. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, find a fold. So hinge at the hips. Yeah, kind of folding over the leg. Yeah, and you might feel this kind of in that hip. Right, 1 more full breath in. 1 more full breath out. Nice open chest, best you can. If you're in that fold, rise on up. Slowly plant that foot back down. Good. Okay, so we have a little bit of stretch on the ankles, right, the back of the hamstring, the hips. So staying on our chair, I was just moving the angle of my camera. Let's come into our goddess pose or our horse pose. So feet out wide, heels in, toes out. Okay, spine is long, open book arms. Yeah, elbows up. Lift those elbows up. Yeah, so we're working our chest a little bit, our shoulders a little bit. Yeah, beautiful. Full breath in. Full breath out. Let's add on a little bit today. So can you bring your right forearm down towards your right thigh? And then can you reach that left arm up and over your left ear? Yeah, this is called temple pose. So you might feel this stretch from that left hip all the way through the fingers. Now rise back on up. So lift those elbows up to shoulder height. Good. Exhale, left forearm to left thigh. Right arm reaching up and over. Yeah, so see if you can really straighten through that top elbow so you can feel the stretch a little bit more. Good. And then maybe relax the face. So maybe shake the head. Yes and then no. Yeah, really nice, everybody. New pose, I think. I think this is the first time I've taught this. Slowly come on up. Not ever, but just here. Lift those elbows up. Yeah, beautiful. From here, let's go ahead and lower the hands down so we give our shoulders a break. And then bring your toes, your feet together. So you can kind of walk the feet in. Good. And they can either be together, they can be kind of hip width distance apart, right? From here, can you stretch your arms forward? And then can you reach them up? Good. Yeah, so reach your arms high overhead. This is called chair pose. And this is supported chair pose because we're in chair pose in a chair, right? So from here, what I want you to do is begin to reach the arms forward, 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 oh, until you come to standing. Come all the way up to standing. Good. Yay. And now this is our mountain pose, right? So the feet are rooted, the legs are engaged, the arms are lifting up. Full breath in. Exhale, hands come down. Good work. All right, so from here, let's move into our balance series, okay? So from our balance series, the way that I always like to cue it is to use a chair for a little bit extra support. If you don't feel like you need a chair or want a chair, that's fine too. If you want even more support, I would recommend that you keep both hands on the chair and face the chair. But since I want you to be able to see me, I'm just gonna have one hand on the chair and I'm gonna face you, okay? But just know that you have options, okay? If you don't have a chair, you can always use a wall, you can use another piece of furniture, right? The details don't really matter what you use. It's just the idea to have some sort of support. So I'm going to start with my left hand resting on the chair. You can start either way. We'll get to both sides, okay? But from here, right, let's do what we did seated with our feet. So can you come up high on the right toes? So lift that right heel and then lower the right heel. And then lift the left heel and lower the left heel. And we'll do that a couple more times. So inhale, lift the right heel. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the left heel. And exhale, lower. Good. Now, go back on the heel and lift the toes on the right side. Yeah. Lower the right toes. And then go back on the left heel and lift the right toes. And you might begin to feel this in the back of the leg. And then just switch sides, right? So lifting the right toes and lowering them. And then lifting the left toes and lowering them. Good. And then let's do what we did seated too. Rolling to the outer edges of the feet. And the inner arches of the feet. So this one's, right, maybe a little bit more unusual, rolling to the outer edges of your feet. You might feel the stretch all the way up the leg and then the inner arches of the feet. And then come back through center, so feet are down. And I want you to begin to tap your legs. Tap, tap, tap. And let's see if we can firm them up a little bit, right? So can we begin to engage the muscles and then tap the butt, right? Can we begin to squeeze the butt in a little bit? Tap the belly, right? Can we begin to feel as if we can hug the belly button in a little bit? And then go ahead and release the hands. Do you feel all this support that you can stand up a little bit taller? Right? This sensation that you almost have like a string on the top of your head that's lifting you higher up towards the sky, right? So this is our really proud, tall stance. And this is where we want to start with when we're working on balance. So from here, one or both hands on the chair. This other hand, if you have it, can be out for added support or can be down at your hip, right? Doesn't really matter to me, whatever feels better to you. But let's shift our weight into the left foot, right? So shift the weight over. Let's come onto the right toes. So hover that right heel. And then, can you lift the toes up? It's called standing knee raise. Yeah, beautiful. So one or both hands can be on the chair. If you're feeling really good, lift the hands off the chair. Yeah, but you might feel right a little wobbly. That's all of the muscles of your body helping you out to find that point of center. Yeah, you all look amazing. One more big breath in. Exhale, lower it down. Good. Awesome. Shake it out as needed. And let's just switch sides right away. So I'm going to flip my chair around, but you might just turn around to the other side, whatever you like to do. Same idea here, right? We tap, tap, the butt, the quads, the belly, right? So we feel our strength, right? We feel all the muscles under the skin. We shift the weight into this right leg, lift the left heel. Right? And then begin to lift the toes, and this left hand might be out, it might be on the chair, it might be down at the hips. But now we're balancing on one foot. Yeah, and maybe you can lift both hands up. And if you fall out of it, just use it as an opportunity to try again. Right? And if you feel a little bit wobbly, know that that's your body working really hard to find your center of gravity, to hold you up. Yeah, shake it out, feet down. Really awesome. I feel like everybody's balance is improving. It's so awesome to see and watch it week to week. Okay, let's go back to our first side. So either flip around or flip your chair around. I know it's a lot of moving props, but it's good for our muscles, right? We all work out here, right? So again, tap, tap, check in with the body, right? Stand up nice and tall. Yeah, cool. Okay, one or both hands on the chair. The other hand, if it's free, can be out or can be here. Shift the weight into your left leg and come onto the toes of the right foot. So hover the right heel. And then same thing, standing knee raise. Lift the foot. Okay, let's add on. Can you open the knee and find tree pose? So tree pose is either foot on calf or ankle or toes down towards the floor, but you notice that the hip is opening. Right? Yeah, one hand can be out, maybe. Both hands can be out. Or maybe you're like a tree in a tree storm, in a windstorm, and you're kind of, blowing around, right? So we're challenging our balance the more that we move our arms. Yeah, but see if you can stay really anchored on that left foot. So keeping that right foot off the floor wherever you are. Yeah, I love to see your different trees. One more big breath in. And exhale, lower it down, shake it out, right? And then let's switch sides. So either turn around or move your chair, right? This is our little strength exercises, right? Our chair is our weight. Okay, so now we come to the second side. Same thing, check in with the body. See if we can engage the muscles of the body to give us a little bit more support, right? One or both hands on the chair. Shift the weight to this right leg. Come up on the toes of the left. And then lift the toes up. Okay, good. Open the knee. Tree pose. Either stay, foot can come down to the ankle, to the calf, or the toes can come down to the floor. One or both arms can be on the chair. They can be lifted. Yeah, and you can be a really stoic, still tree, or you can be a billowing tree. But see if you can hover one foot off the floor and begin to find that balance with the right leg, right? Giving you the support to reach up really tall through the crown of the head. If you fall out of it, just use it as an opportunity to jump back into it. One more full breath in. Exhale, shake it out. Shake it out. Shake it out. All right. Let me check in with you. How are we doing? On a scale of thumbs. Cool. All right. Steering towards positive. I like that. Okay. Let's move our chair to the top of our mat. So today I wanted to teach you a brand new shape that I feel like we're ready for it. I feel like we're ready for it. And it's probably a shape that you've heard of. It's called downward facing dog. And it's a shape that people do a lot in yoga. And basically it's dog pose, right? So sometimes if any of you have a pet dog at home, maybe you've seen your pet dog do this. But from here, what I'd like you to do is have your hands on the seat of your chair or the seat of your couch, right? Whatever you're using. Make sure it's sturdy though, right? So either have it on your mat or against a wall because we're going to put a little bit of weight on it, okay? So be really mindful. Step your feet back and lift your hip up. So we're like in a downward V shape. This is downward facing dog. Butt up, right? Heels can be lifted, but the neck is long, right? The gaze is soft back behind you. This is our downward facing dog. And again, it's our dog pose. So maybe you've seen a dog in this shape before. The hands are on the chair, the butt is up. You might feel this in the chest, you might feel this in the legs. Yeah, and then can you rock forward to plank pose? So top of a push-up, second shoulders over your hips. Yeah, and exhale, downward facing dog. So down dog, send your hips up, up, up like the letter V. Let's just do this 2 more times, that's it. So inhale, rock the body forward, find high plank, top of a push-up, squeeze your butt. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll do this 1 more time, okay? So inhale, glide forward, plank. Beautiful. Exhale, downward facing dog. And from your down dog, begin to walk your feet forward and come into a standing forward fold. And let's find what's called Ragdoll. So bend the knees a lot, reach for opposite elbows, and just sway from side to side. So Ragdoll, right? Think of your inner Raggedy Ann or Raggedy Andy. If you even know that, I might be aging myself, right? Just a doll, right? So kind of loose here. Anything that maybe feels heavy in the mind or on the head or in the heart, right? Can be this opportunity just to allow it to kind of soften. And then from here, all we're going to do is roll up the spine and come to standing. Yeah, just rise up all the way. Good, really nice. Okay, let's put our chair away for now. We might come back to it, we might not. Let's just put it away for now. And now's a good time to grab some water. If you're thirsty, if you have some water available, go ahead and grab a sip. And from here, let's make our way down onto the floor. So down onto our mat or our yoga space, whatever we're using, right? Something that's has a little bit of cushion. So either a carpet or a rug if you don't have a yoga mat. And we're going to be in tabletop pose. So this is a shape that we've done every week, right? Where you can kind of imagine yourself as like a coffee table or a dining room table or a bedside table, right? But you'll notice that my shoulders are more or less right above my wrists. And my hips are more or less above my knees. And I'm really pressing the ground away from me for this tabletop pose. And my tailbone is stretching really long back behind me, and the crown of my head is stretching long in front of me. Let's breathe in for our cow pose. So we dip the belly, lift the tailbone, lift the chin, cow. And then exhale for cat. And it's a really good Halloween cat. So arch the spine, hug the chin in. Breathe in for cow. And we just kind of go back and forth. Yeah, good. And breathe out for cat. Rounding the spine. Yeah, so lovely, everybody. Couple more rounds. So inhale for cow. Drop belly, lift gaze, lift tail. Good. Michael, George, good. Sophie, exhale for cat. Rounding the spine, think Halloween cat. Really lifting the spine up. 1 more round. Breathe in for cow. Drop belly, lift gaze, lift tailbone. Good, Vanessa. Breathe out, cat pose. Arch the spine, up, up, up. And then come back to tabletop pose. And all I want you to do is slither your way on down to the floor. So slither down. Yeah, The hands are by your shoulders. The forehead can rest down if that feels okay. But I want you to imagine that we could tap, tap, tap our butt and our legs, right? So our legs are really engaged the way they just were when we were standing, working on our balance. We want to keep the legs and the butt engaged, and then inhale, slither the chest up for Cobra Pose, which is a type of snake. So lifting the heart up just a little bit, keeping the legs really engaged, and then exhale, slowly lower down. The forehead or the chin can find the floor. And then inhale, slither the chest, the face off the floor. Find this gentle back bend. And as you exhale, slither the chest down. Let's do this a couple more times. Inhale, lift the heart up. This is a really good shape to do to begin to strengthen our upper backs. And then exhale, slowly lower down to stretch out the front of the hips, right? So this is a really good shape to do. Inhale, lift the heart. If you're spending a lot of time seated, right, because it kind of counteracts everything that we naturally do when we're seated. Exhale, forward fold, which is bending at the hips and kind of having bad posture. 2 more. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, lower down. 1 more time, so we really get a feel for this. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, lower down. Beautiful. Come into Crocodile Pose. So palm on top of palm, and then your forehead rests on the palms. And for this, the legs are just loosey-goosey, right? So relax the butt, the belly, the legs. This is more of a resting pose. So it's a place where we can really begin to feel the body touching the floor. Right, so you can stay in Crocodile Pose if that feels okay. And you might even rock the forehead from side to side. Kind of just inviting a sense of ease into the forehead and to the mind. I'm just giving your body a moment to rest, to be here, to feel the support of the ground beneath you, to feel the support of the breath within you. 1 more big breath in. And 1 more big breath out. And from your Crocodile Pose, I'll have you come onto the elbows, onto the forearms, and find what's called Sphinx Pose. So can you bring the elbows under the shoulders? The hands can be planted, or if you like to interlace the fingertips, you can do that. And then from here, so the chest is lifting up, right? You can gaze forward in front of you, or if it feels okay on your neck, let's do those neck exercises that we did at the beginning of class. So inhale, gaze up, so lift the chin. And exhale, gaze down towards the floor. And inhale, gaze up towards the sky 1 more time. And exhale, gaze down towards the floor. Good. And then find that neutral neck. So just kind of gaze in front of you and breathe and turn off to one side, either the right or the left, doesn't matter. And breathe out, make your way to the other side. So just switch sides. Don't move too fast. We're not trying to get dizzy. Full breath in. And exhale, turn and gaze in the opposite direction, maybe even behind the back or the shoulder. Yeah, 1 more inhale. And then exhale, last time, gaze in the opposite direction, maybe behind the back or the shoulder. So we're just kind of stretching out the neck. And from here, let's just slither all the way back down onto the belly, onto the chest. Draw the hands so they're by your shoulders. Let's come back to our tabletop. So our hands and our knees. Good. And from here, just take a seat. And then again, if you're thirsty and you have some water handy, now would be a good time to just grab a quick sip of water. You can always drink water when you're thirsty. But sometimes it's nice just to have an opportunity or 2 that are kind of all in sync. Yeah. Beautiful. And let's see if we can sit up nice and tall with the legs out in front of us. Best we can. Good. And then can you bend your right knee and plant your right foot? Yeah, best you can, heart lifting up. Either keep the foot here, or if it feels okay, you can step it over that left leg. And all I want you to do is twist to the right. So bring the right hand back behind you and use it kind of as like, I'll turn this way so you can see me. All right, my right hand is back behind me, and I'm kind of pressing the ground away so I can keep lifting my heart up. And then if it feels okay on the neck, I can gaze back behind me. So once again, just create a little bit more space and length in the side of the neck. Yeah, really beautiful. Now from here, just come back through center. So turn to face towards me, straighten out through that right leg. Let's try it on the other side. So bend your left knee and plant your left foot down. And either keep it right here if it feels okay in your body, you might step it over that right leg. And then bring the left hand back behind you. And this is when I'll turn so you can see a little bit better. And this other hand can find the knee and just kind of hug it in a little bit so that you have this support system where you're able to sit up a little bit taller and maybe to gaze back behind you. That feels okay on your neck. Yeah, really beautiful. One more inhale. And one more exhale. And then all I'm going to have you do is turn to face forward and straighten out through that leg. Good job. Yeah. And from here, what I'd like us to do is make our way down onto our mat with our pillow. So if you don't have your pillow handy, go ahead and find your pillow and then make your way down onto your mat with all the way down. But make sure that pillow's handy so that we can use it in a moment. So just make your way all the way down. And if you want to adjust your camera, you're welcome to. If you don't want to worry about it, it's totally fine too. But from here, laying all the way down on our backs, let's reach the arms up and overhead. So this is what I like to call a good morning stretch. So imagine you're just waking up and you're stretching from the fingers to the toes. And then from here, let's come into what's called banana pose. So send the heels over towards one side of your mat. So I'm starting on the left side. And then see if you can bring the arms and the shoulders over to the left side as well. And the feet can be wide and the hands can be wide, or if it feels okay, you might bend the elbows and find opposite fingertips, or you might hook the ankles. So it's just a really gentle side body stretch. You might feel this from the right ankle, up the right leg and hip, the right side of the waist through the armpit, and eventually through the right elbow or the right hand. And you see if just the side of your head or the back of the head can just rest heavy on the mat back behind you. And just allow the body to rest here, inviting in a little bit more length on the right side of your body. Just imagining you're this sort of relaxed banana. One more big breath in. One more big breath out. And as you inhale, come back to that good morning stretch. So reach the fingertips up and away from your toes. Get really long through your entire body. And as you exhale, bring the heels to the opposite side of your mat. So for me, that's the right side. And then see if you can bring the shoulders and the arms over to the right side of your mat as well. And the feet can be wider and the hands can be wider. You might hook the left ankle. You might bend the elbows and find opposite fingertips. We're just looking for a really sort of gentle lengthening, maybe gentle sensation or stretch on the left side of your body. So all the way down through the outer edge of the foot, through the outer edge of the leg, the hip, the torso, underneath the armpit, all the way through the elbow, maybe even through the hands. Right, we're just this relaxed banana, and the gaze might begin to soften, or if it feels okay, you might allow the eyes to close down a little bit. One more big breath in. And one more big breath out. And from here, slowly let's come back through center, that good morning stretch. So reaching the fingertips away from the toes. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, bring the hands down beside you, bend your knees and plant your feet. And this is when you'll take that pillow, if you have one, and place it between the knees. And it might even be all the way down between the ankles. And from here, see if you can keep the legs as they are and let the arms stretch out wide. And the elbows can be bent, or the elbows can be they can be bent like that open book arms, or they can be straight. And then just allow the legs to fall off to one side. Having that pillow between the legs just to invite the legs to relax a little bit more. And then if it feels okay in your neck, you might gaze away from your knees. If that feels like too much in the neck or doesn't feel good, just find a placement for your head or your gaze that does feel good. So it might be up towards the ceiling, or it might be in the same direction as your knees. But in these shapes, we're no longer really asking the body to really, or the muscles of the body to really engage the way that we're, tapping the belly and the butt and the legs, right? Because we wanted them to be really active. Here, the idea is that the muscles of the body begin to just sort of melt. So they feel so supported by the ground, by the mat, by the pillow. They can just begin to soften and release and relax a little bit more. Take one more big breath in your twist. And one more big breath out in your twist. And then you can keep the upper body exactly how it is. But bring the legs back up. So the feet plant, the pillow can stay between the knees and the knees point up. Take a full breath in here. And as you exhale, just turn the knees to the opposite side. As we find this twist facing the opposite direction, right, or the second side. So the same options with the head, the neck, the shoulders, right? You can gaze away from the knees if that feels okay. If it doesn't feel okay though, it's no big deal, right? Just place your head wherever it does feel comfortable. And your eyes can be open or your eyes can be closed. We just take a couple moments here to feel really supported by the ground beneath us, by the pillow between the legs. So the muscles of the body can just begin to kind of melt. They no longer feel as if they have to really work really hard. But we give them this time here, this permission to relax, to rest. Take one more big breath in. Then one more big breath out. And really slowly, let's come back through center. So knees point upwards, feet plant. And from here, go ahead and take your pillow. And if it feels okay, you can just rest it on the belly or kind of on the hips. And two options. The feet and the knees can stay here if that feels better on your low back. If it feels okay in your body, I'd invite you to straighten the legs all the way out. And allow the hands to come down alongside you. And if you don't like the weight or the feeling of the pillow on the body, all you can do is remove it, right? It's always optional and it's not a big deal. And the eyes can be open or the eyes can be closed. But see if you can stay where you are. I'm going to get up just so that I can face you. See if you can bring your attention to the parts of the body that are touching the floor. So if it feels okay just laying down, you can stay laying down, right? So see if you can bring your attention to the parts of your body that are touching the floor. The back of the head, back of the shoulders, the upper arms and the lower arms, the back of the hands. Where the upper back touches the floor and the lower back, the pelvis, the hips touch the floor. Where the upper legs touch the floor, the back of the knees, the lower legs, the ankles, and for some of us, maybe the outer edges of the feet, maybe some of us, the soles of the feet are touching the floor. And you see if once again, you can just feel so held and supported by the floor, the mat, that you feel as if you could almost sink down deeper. Right, as if you're in one of those beds that's full of like a water bed or full of like gel or foam. You just feel so held and so relaxed. The muscles no longer feel like they need to really work really hard. And you just give yourself this permission to rest, to be just as you are. So there's no longer anything else that we need to do in class. And in fact, you are perfect just as you are. There's no need to change anything about yourself or your body. Can you just allow it to be? And as we linger here for a couple more moments, you might notice that maybe the mind begins to wander, gets a little bit distracted, or maybe you get curious about something else. And if that's the case, that's normal, that's natural, it's common. But see if maybe it might be helpful to gently open the eyes and kind of gaze around you like we've been doing throughout our practice today, and just sort of getting a sense for your physical surroundings, the ceiling, the floor, the walls, the objects. Or if you like focusing on the breath, if focusing on the breath to you makes sense and feels calming, maybe you notice your breath here. Maybe you notice the pace of the breath, or where you feel the breath mostly in the body. Maybe you notice the temperature of the breath or the sound of the breath. But wherever you are, I'd like you to stay there for one more big breath in. And one more big breath out. And then slowly, let's come back to that good morning stretch. So moving in your own time and knowing that there's no rush. Reach the arms high overhead, away from your toes. Get really long here. And then roll off onto one side. And come into our seedling posture. So just rolling onto one side, hugging the knees up towards the chest maybe. Resting the bottom ear on that bottom arm. And just for one more moment, feeling really held and supported by the ground beneath you. In your own time, and there's no rush here. Press the opposite palm into the floor and slowly begin to rise on up. Stacking the shoulders over the hips and either taking a seat on the floor. If you have your chair nearby, you're welcome to go ahead and sit on your chair. I'm pointing at my chair. It's at a screen. Let's see if you can sit up nice and tall. Yeah, good adjustments, right? So I'm not sort of like this, but I'm like this. A nice, proud, open chest, right? And let's bring one hand on the heart and the other hand on top of it. And if it feels okay, you might gaze down or close your eyes. And see if you can just feel your breath in your body, right? So you might feel the rise and the fall of your chest. You might even bring one hand up to the side of your neck and be able to feel your pulse. Right? Sometimes it's easy to feel, sometimes not so much. But this is just your undeniable proof that you're alive, right? That you're deserving to be here, to take up space, that you matter. So I want you to really feel that, right? The breath in your body that gives you life. And take a moment to give gratitude for this body and all that it does for you all day long. So much of it is just automatic, right? It's not something that we have to think about. And then from here, I'd like you to acknowledge all of your efforts, your mental efforts, your physical efforts, anything and everything that it took to get you here today. Sometimes I know it's such a hurdle just to get to our yoga mat, just to arrive to these classes, maybe on days when we feel a little bit down or a little bit tired. So just acknowledging all the efforts that it takes to get here. And then if you like, go ahead and bow the head towards the palms, just sealing our practice. And as you feel ready, you can rise back on up. Release the hands on down. Thank you all so much.